In Venezuela, the second national public consultation is held as the people choose which community projects they would like to develop in each territory. New Israeli massacres against Palestinian families in the Gaza Strip have killed at least 51 people in the last hours. And in Iran, death toll rises to 28 after explosion in Shahid Rajaee, and one of the country's most important ports in the southern city of Bandar Abbas. Hello, welcome from the south. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll begin with the news. Stay with us. Venezuelans participate nationwide in the second public consultation this year in order to elect their communal projects to benefit their communities. On Sunday's elections, thousands of people voted for their most needed communal proposal to be enforced. The most voted project will be financed by the national government and executed by the community, while the second most voted will be sourced by the state governments. In this context, the National Electoral Council informed having activated 5,718 voting centers nationwide and over 7,400 polling stations.
Es el fortalecimiento de nuestra democracia. Esta es la participación protagónica del pueblo.
This is the strengthening of our democracy. It is the protagonist participation of the people who is deciding their own needs and sorting them out directly. I think this will be within the framework of the 7 transformations because we are heading for a communal city or even a communal country grounded in the fact communes are already our reality. The strengthening of the popular power for our democracy to make it perfect. Based on it, Venezuela poses an unusual threat to the capitalist model.
At least it solves the most common problems of our communes. At least in our neighborhoods. We no longer face floods due to sewage wastes. We can't up with lights on streets and houses' facades have been painted.
Have you noticed progress and development?
Yes, of course, I have, during the whole revolution.
What can you say about citizens' responsibility, taking into account that citizens are the ones who elect?
Yes, of course, we decide by ourselves, and we expect bureaucracy not be in the way.
Also in Venezuela, in the context of the public consultation that is being held today, earlier communes nationwide have paid their dues on developing their projects based on a study of the population's needs. The following coverage, our correspondent Chatafol accounts for the commune's experience in the Miranda state that has managed to deepen its knowledge of the territory.
La comuna El Florecer de las Clavellinas es la más grande del municipio.
The El Florecer de las Clavelinas commune is the largest in the Plazas municipality in Miranda State, Venezuela. It has 32 communal councils for 22,600 inhabitants. Here, spokespersons and parliament members meet daily in a communal self-government hall.
It has been a breathtaking experience cause we know that we all have problems, but we've never expressed them as we currently do. So, our experience has been beautiful since we're getting to know the exact reality of our territory.
Communal councils have been doing a hard work in all communes. With the support of the different spokespersons, we have been gathering all information on health, economy, education, and we brought all data to be systematized in the communes.
In practical terms, this meticulous work gives them a head start when devising projects and solutions for whatever problems they may face.
We added it all up, and when we arrived here at the commune, then we see our coincidences with the 32 communal councils, and that is what we put in our critical knots to be solved.
Regarding healthcare, which was a priority in the last consultation, to retrofit an outpatient clinic, this survey has allowed healthcare providers to fine-tune the quality of their services.
Communal councils have been doing a hard work in all communes. With the support of the different spokespersons, we have been gathering all information on health, economy, education, and we brought all data to be systematized in the communes.
For this popular consultation, special attention was paid to boosting communal economy, stepping up production and marketing strategies for the benefit of the community as a whole.
We have 2,799 producers who are in agriculture, in textiles and in pig production. We strengthen the commune with our producers' help. How do we strengthen it? By bringing all our production to our commune so that our commodities go directly to the consumer. There is no third party, there is no reseller.
The planning minister, who has been involved with the commune throughout this process, praised the work done so far and recalled that the communal power is an unprecedented process under permanent transformation, representing a new union between the people and the state.
We have 2,799 producers who are in agriculture, in textiles and in pig production. We strengthen the commune with our producers' help. How do we strengthen it? By bringing all our production to our commune so that our commodities go directly to the consumer. There is no third party, there is no reseller.
With 19 years of experience and a deep revolutionary spirit, El Florecer de las Clavelinas commune is an example of grassroots construct in which popular consultations set the path towards sovereignty.
Shahid desde Caracas, Venezuela, para teleSUR.
In other topics, in Ecuador, the coalition Citizens Revolution Reto is contesting before the Electoral Council the results of last April 13th presidential election. Coalition's attorney Francisco Estarellas, who sponsored Luisa González's candidacy, says the new case document they have filed that contains observations and evidence on irregularities, backed with 1,021 tally sheets. The attorney said he fears the Electoral Council will disregard his most recent claim, for they have already disregarded previous observations he submitted. Last Thursday, the Electoral Council certified the results of the runoff election and dismissed all claims. Still, Estarellas said they will appeal to all instances before Inauguration Day next May 24th. Nine people have died in the city of Vancouver in Canada after a driver ran over a group of people during a festival of the Filipino community. The incident occurred at 8 p.m. local time on Saturday while the citizens of the Philippine community in Canada were celebrating Lapu-Lapu Day, honoring the heroic figure of the Asian nation. According to police reports, among the 9 dead, one child was identified while 7 others were injured. A 30-year-old man was arrested at the scene of the accident after being identified as the perpetrator of the massacre. We now have our first break coming up. Remember, you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English. We will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We're going to be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. On Sunday, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov arrived in Brazil to attend a meeting of BRICS foreign ministers. The meeting will be held Monday, April 28th through Tuesday, April 29th, and it will be hinged upon furthering economic cooperation and preparations for the BRICS 17th summit to be held next July. Russia's foreign ministry wants emphasis to be placed on strengthening BRICS international strategic partnerships and on global transformation. Venezuela's Vice President Shahid Rodriguez arrived Sunday in the Chinese city of Shanghai to further an agenda of bilateral cooperation. At Shanghai's international airport, the Venezuelan Vice President was met by a delegation of the regional foreign ministry, by Venezuelan Ambassador to China, Remigio Ceballos, and by Venezuela's General Consul in Shanghai, Atilio Villasmil. The agenda of Ms. Rodriguez includes meetings with representatives of technology companies and with world leaders to promote strategic alliances. In Mexico, wildfires continue raging in the western Sierra Madre on Saturday. These fire outbreaks have hit the region since last March. The Secretary of Rural Development registered 13 active wildfires in different municipalities. Hence, authorities recommended that citizens may report any fire risk to which they may be exposed to the emergency numbers in the region. Over 258 firefighters from various units have been deployed to put out the flames, assist those affected, and attend to emergencies. The wildfires recorded especially hit the municipalities of Bocaina, Guadalupe, Calvo, Valleza, Guasapares, and Urique. And in Cuba, authorities in Pinal del Rio have intensified their efforts to fight a large fire that has been active for several days in the Arenales area. According to official sources, aerial observation systems have been in place since last Friday to recognize and attack the flames. The actions link aerial and terrestrial strategies in the whole territory, as well as aerial crews composed of experienced firefighting personnel. Simultaneously, joint brigades from the agricultural sector have completed the construction of a large trail that will help to close the fire fronts. These measures are expected to deal a decisive blow to the fire and mitigate its impact on the region. Heavy landslides in Ecuador caused the closure of roads due to the rains that hit the south of the country. The storm, which has caused serious damage to agricultural land in the community of Nangora, specifically in the Malacatos Valley, in the municipality of Loja, has caused the ground to become saturated, resulting in mud and rock slides. Local residents report that their homes have not suffered serious damage, but express great concern about the loss of crops, a significant blow to a community that is mainly a farmer community. New Israeli massacres against Palestinian families in the Gaza Strip have killed at least 51 people in the last hours. According to health sources, another 115 people were injured as they warned that the death toll could rise. So far, the emergency teams are having difficulties to reach the victims who are trapped under the rubble due to ongoing Israeli attacks against ambulances and civil defense personnel since October 7, 2023. More than 52,240 people have been killed by Zionism, mostly women and children, despite calls by the United Nations and the international community for an immediate and definitive ceasefire. And the Hamas Palestinian Resistance Movement rescued one of the Israeli hostages in its custody from a Zionist bombing. The movement posted some images as evidence of their effort to save the Israeli's life, who had been buried due to the shelling of its own government when a military plane attacked the area where several Israelis were held captive. Both the hostages' families and the resistance itself denounced that the brutal and indiscriminate airstrikes put hostages at risk. Indeed, the occupation aggressions have already killed several Israeli citizens who had been under Hamas custody since October 7, 2023. As a result, their families accused Prime Minister Netanyahu of sacrificing their children to stay in power. And in Palestine, the Hamas resistance movement described the appointment of the new vice president of the National Authority as a decision lacking national consensus. Hamas expressed its rejection of Hussein al-Sheikh's appointment as vice president, while accusing the leadership of giving in to external pressures and consolidating exclusionary policies. In this regard, the movement emphasized that the current priority should be to stop the aggression and famine, as well as to unify efforts against the occupation and the expansion of Israeli settlements in the coastal enclave. Hamas also urged the member factions of the Palestinian Liberation Organization to reject the measure and to work for the democratic reconstruction of the organization. And the Palestinian Commission of Resistance to the Apartheid Wall and the Israeli settlements has denounced the ongoing strategy of colonization of land in the occupied West Bank. The organization pointed out that the Israeli authorities approved the construction of houses in the Jewish colonies illegally built on the West Bank. Experts point out that Israel is expanding its occupation in the territory despite international criticism of its illegal occupation campaign. They also denounced Tel Aviv's attempts to divide Palestinian areas by expropriating land and building settlements and roads meant exclusively for Jews. We now have our second and final break coming up. Before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English, there you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage, and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final break, and we'll be right back with more. Welcome back. In Iran, the death toll rises to 28 after the explosion in Shahid Rajaee, one of the country's most important ports in the southern city of Bandar Abbas. The number of people injured exceeds 1,240 people due to the fire that occurred in the middle of the unloading of chemical products. Local authorities declared an alert due to the spread of the flames, which are advancing at great speed due to the winds. In this regard, the Iranian government ordered an investigation to determine the causes of the incident. And meanwhile, the fire department confirmed the continuity of the rescue work in search of possible victims among the rubble. On the other hand, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi instructed the security forces to avoid falling into provocations and to remain alert to possible sabotage attempts. And Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces continued their violent escalation by attacking Sunday a refinery in Jhelei, northern Khartoum. In response to these actions, the head of the Sudanese army, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, has promised to launch a special operation to prevent a new offensive. In recent weeks, the paramilitary forces have mounted their incursions into strategic facilities, such as power plants and water distribution centers, which have caused severe damage to agriculture and healthcare centers as they had been targeted by the rapid support forces. And in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, hundreds of people mobilized to demand an end to the armed conflict in the region. The mobilization took place in Butembo 3 months after regular armed groups seized control of the area. Demonstrators urged peace while chanting slogans of national unity and expressed their support to the preliminary agreement between Kinshasa and Kigali negotiated by the United States. Authorities estimate that the armed conflict has killed around 6 million people since mid-1990s in the aftermath of the Rwanda genocide. In Uganda, the health ministry declared the end of the Ebola outbreak in the country after registering 42 days without a single Ebola case. The World Health Organization announced that in the latest outbreak, 14 cases were recorded, of which 12 were confirmed. 2 were considered probable even without laboratory testing, while 10 individuals managed to recover from the infection. This new episode resulted in 4 deaths, 2 of which were directly linked to the disease, and 2 others were considered probable. The infections were identified in Kampala, the country's capital, following the death of a nurse. Furthermore, this outbreak was linked to the Sudan strain, a variant which still does not have an approved vaccine. And India and Pakistan have been raising bilateral tensions. Therefore, the Indian government has suspended, as of Sunday, April 27th, the visas for Pakistani nationals being in the country. The tensions stem from a terrorist attack in Kashmir where 26 people were killed. As a result, India calls Pakistan a state that covers up for terrorists. This measure forces Pakistanis with short-term visas to leave India. In this sense, the regional heads of government warned that natives of the neighboring country who are in their states that they must comply with the deadlines informed by the government to avoid forced expulsion. And And in football news, River Plate and Boca Juniors played another historic edition of the Argentine Superclásico this Sunday at the Parque Monumental with a record 85,018 attendees after stadium renovations. Both teams are already through the round of 16 in the Torneo Apertura. In the 25th minute, River took the lead with an astonishing free kick goal by 17-year-old Franco Mastantuono that left goalkeeper Agustin Marchesín frozen in his tracks. Boca equalized in the 37th minute after a great finish by Uruguayan Miguel Merentiel, who sent it into the net when he was one-on-one with goalkeeper Franco Armani. River retook the lead in the 44th minute after Sebastián Driussi pushed the ball into the goal on a rebound that was left after his header was saved by Marchesín. In the end, River Plate won 2-1 against arch-rivals Boca Juniors. Like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. With Telesur English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thanks for watching.